Today, we're going to dig into a pretty radical idea. What if all those spiritual practices that everyone says are good for you are actually holding you back? We're about to dive into a critique that really challenges thousands of years of tradition, and it's all about one thing: trusting your own experience over everything else. So let's start with this question right here, because it's a big one. The source we're looking at today kicks things off with a really counterintuitive idea. Just because something is considered good doesn't mean it's good for you. Think about that. All these spiritual protocols we're told are universally amazing. Well, maybe they're just not the right fit for us as individuals. So where is all this coming from? Well, this perspective comes from a man named Osman, also known as the blind Muslim yogi. And his critique isn't just some theory he read in a book. Nope. It comes from nearly 5 decades of his own intensive personal practice. He's challenging what's commonly taught by starting with what he has directly experienced himself. And here's where it gets, well, really provocative. He makes the claim that over 90%, yeah, you heard that right, 90% of spiritual teachers are basically just passing on secondhand information. They're teaching theories from ancient texts, but they don't have the direct personal experience to actually back any of it up. Okay, this slide gives us a perfect, really concrete example of this disconnect he's talking about. For decades, our source has consistently experienced the foundational root chakra as yellow. But if you look at the common teaching, almost every tradition, every book will tell you that it's red. I mean, that's a pretty fundamental disagreement, right? And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It highlights that huge gap between just repeating what you've read and actually knowing from real, verifiable experience. The argument is, look, if teachers are mistaken on something so basic, so fundamental, then how can you trust everything else they say without question? You know, when you start questioning these foundational teachings, it doesn't just stop there. It actually leads to a complete redefinition of what the purpose of yoga even is in the first place. As you can see here, the word yoga literally means union. It's not really about the physical poses we all see on Instagram. Those are just tools to get you somewhere. The real goal is an experience, that state where your own personal energy just merges with the universal cosmic energy. And that state of union, it has a name: samadhi. As the slide says, it's this blissful experience that is the whole point of yoga. The source argues that a teacher who hasn't personally experienced samadhi is kind of like someone trying to teach you how to ride a bike when they've never actually ridden one themselves. It just doesn't compute. But here is the real twist. So many traditions promote this idea of withdrawing from the world to achieve enlightenment. But our source, he argues the exact opposite. He says the true purpose is to enhance your energy, to improve your brain capacity, so you can engage more fully and more effectively with your life and everyone in it. So if the goal is totally different, it just makes sense that the practice itself would look radically different too. He shares these great personal stories to show that pretty much any activity, as long as you do it with mindful engagement and full presence, can become a form of yoga. It could be washing the dishes, messing around in the garden, or even just sitting with your back against a tree and feeling connected to the ground. It's about presence, not about perfect posture. The big takeaway here is that these practices aren't meant to be an escape hatch from your life. They're supposed to make you stronger, more present, and just better equipped for the life you are actually living, right here and right now. All right, so how do we take all this contrarian wisdom and actually apply it to our own lives, especially when we're constantly being told what we should be doing? This quote is so powerful. It's a reminder to take back your own personal authority. The message is crystal clear. Don't just hand your life over to someone else's control. He's really urging people not to blindly follow any teacher or any system, but to always, always think for themselves. And really, this is the core message of this whole entire critique. Trust your own direct experience. Find a path, a practice, or an activity that gives you real, tangible benefits for you in your life right now. Don't waste years chasing a goal that might not even be what you truly want. So we'll leave you with the question on this final slide. It's something to really think about as you consider your own path. Is your practice designed to help you withdraw from the world, or is it there to help you engage with it more beautifully and more completely?